what we will do is continue from where we left yesterday. I've created a sample report. I think someone from you asked me to create a report to look for the compensation on the previous compensation event dates. So that I've done, as well as the prompt on the report we were working. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So this was the original report we were working on, and the last activity we did was to create lookup value as of date and provided a prompt to the user to look up to the person's salary anytime of, like, at whatever time they decide to view it. Like, say 2 years back, what was his or salary. So we can run this report and try to see what was their salary in 2010, starting of 2010. Their birthday, I think these are the initial prompts. So I'll give them as is. Okay. So now the outputs are there. So you see that total base pay currently, which is like the current, as I have selected field directly from Workday. Let me just show you. You see the last column I've selected the total base pay. This will show you the current salary they have in Workday. And the second last column, if you see, this is giving you the effective salary since, like, at the time you gave the prompt, that was 01/01/2010, what their salary was, like the total base pay was. Okay. I hope you're able to get it, like how the difference in salary is being showed here.
Error yesterday coming, right? Like birthday,
Right.
birthday. What was that?
Birthday.
How that?
So that was because I think on the prompt field, the kind of prompt I used, I will show you the field we created, right? So we were using the same, I would say, custom report definition where we had certain prompts already, right? And the prompt kind of field I was using was prompt starting date, and that was having a clash maybe because of the definitions in the background, because these are already created fields. So what I did was, like, chose a different prompt field, and then we had this. Okay, and then incorporated the same on the prompts. So it was earlier start date, and that start date, I think, was messing up with the initial prompts of the filters, because what we were doing is like giving this as a starting prompt and this ending prompt. And since these are also date prompts, it was having some clashes within the internal definitions they would have been created for. So all I did was, like, changed or used another date prompt named as prompt date 1 and used it in the report. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's one of the key things. Like, if you're creating an LVOD and if you already have certain kinds of prompts, and after enabling those LVOD, like lookup value related prompts on the report, it's giving certain errors. Maybe it's because on the background it's picking up the same date. So it must have done a thing like the prompt here and here maybe self-referencing each other, or maybe canceling out certain things. So all you need to do is, like, select another unique prompt value for the calculated field you have created. So this you can change, and then the output will be as per your requirement. So
How did you change that effective date?
this is like simple, right? This we need to select. So I did not do anything here. What I did was, like, there are certain prompt fields delivered to us. Okay. So earlier what I had
Okay,
done
yeah,
was,
got it. Yep.
I
Yeah,
had
I'm good.
selected this start date. Okay. But later on I just selected the prompt date 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions on this one? Like how we managed to get the lookup value or the effective salary from the previous date?
So you just took the effective date, put a calculated field to get a -1, associated brought that prompt in the filter.
No. Here I did not do even -1. I just, like, this is the salary effective on 1st of January 2010. So I just
Okay.
put up a
So whatever
prompt on
the
the field.
input value that you give, that was from
This,
that date, the
right,
compensation was put. Okay.
right. You see the prompt date 1 value. This compensation is effective. Like, on this day, if you see this person's salary, it was this. So this is kind of a dynamic behavior we have given to the report, that you can see a employee's salary as of any date. Whatever date you fill while running the report on the prompt, it will give you the salary at that date.
So how did you, refresh my mind, Marie, how did you associate this prompt to the compensation
So
to the
what I
effective
did,
date? Okay, I got it. To the effective date. Okay.
right. You see, this is
Yes.
this cal field, what like this type of cal field, the function is
Right.
typically to get the value of this field effective
For
on
this
the
date.
provided
Right.
parameter.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And the other report I created to just for I think someone who asked me like to get higher or like compensation on any of the events. So I think his ask was like to get the latest one. The latest one is automatically being fetched up, so it will say current base pay. This is you see, this is not calculated field. This is a workday delivered field I'm using. And then what I did was like got a salary at the time of hire. This is a report name, so I wanted to show you this use case, like what was an employee's salary when they were hired and what is their current. But I went ahead and added another prompt into or another calfill into this report where we want to fetch like whatever their last compensation event was. I want to see their salary before that, like before the last change. So maybe it can be a change on the allowances, so the total base pay won't change because compensation can have a element like different elements like allowances, bonuses. So the base pay can remain same maybe at certain time, and even because this is a test tenant, so there might be entries that the base they're not changing the total base pay, but they're changing the allowances. So what I'll do is parallelly run this report, and then we can see the definition as well. Okay, so for say Logan, you see her hire date is 1st of January 2000, and most of the examples or employees in this tenant you will see because this is a TPT tenant set up by Workday, so they usually create people on a specific date, and that's the standard practice. So they created them in the tenant on this date. Base pay at hire was 180. You see, this column heading I've changed just to be more user friendly. So someone who's trying to run the report does not want to see like all this CF underscore underscore and anything. I want it to be more logical. So what I've done is like rename the column from the simple names of the cal fields to something which is more user friendly, like base pay at hire, base before last change, and current base pay. So now the hire date was this, base pay at hire was this, base pay before last change is this, and the current base pay is this for this person. For Logan, for Max Millen, if you see, he was hired at 185K. Last time before the last change, his compensation was 288,635, and currently his compensation or like total base pay is 297,294. Okay, and
Can you show us that?
definition? Yeah, I was going to it. So initially the purpose I wanted to like I create this report for like, and I gave a logical name as well, CF worker salary at the time of hire. So this was the main purpose. So what I did was like looked at the total base pay amount at hire. So we have a hire date kind of field for every worker element for every worker, which will store their hire date. So whenever they were hired, so it will show you hire date. It will automatically pull in the hire date from the worker profile and show you the total base pay in here. Okay, and similarly we have like a termination date. So these are like not called effective dates. Like these are effective date, but these are also stored on a different object like a termination date or a hire date. Okay, and and the other one was like the salary before last change. What I did was went ahead and created an LVOAT which says base pay before last change. I took the base pay amount. I created a effective date -1 of last compensation change event. What this field is in turn doing is taking up a calculated field and doing a -1. And what is this field doing? An effective date of last compensation change event. This is doing, you see, the function is always written in the name, like before the name, like the cal field, and it is doing a LRV. What it is doing, it is looking at the most recent compensation event of the worker and getting the effective date of this compensation event. This will return a date value. From the date value, we are doing a -1 day. So before the last compensation change event, what was his salary? And we are using this on the LVOD to get this total base pay on that date, specific date. So this is like the kind of nesting, like 3 levels of nesting we have done.
So in our tenant, can we see this report?
I think you can. You go ahead and try to see these definitions. I'm not sure what tenant you have been given to. It may be same or might be different. But can you and any one of you go ahead and try to check for this report definition? I have already made it share with everyone, all authorized users. So just let me know.
Most recent compensation event is a delivered field, right?
Right.
Okay.
So anything which I did not show you while seeing this, okay? So this would be a event that is delivered under the report field, Workday delivered, right?
With this employee compensation event, we have related, right?
Like this is a field based derived on the worker, and internally they might have like say done a LRV or something, but Workday delivered fields we do not get to see whatever their internal logics are.
Okay, this is automatically pulled.
Yeah, these are automatically pulled on the business object. You see, I was able to do it because I was creating it on the worker business object, and this field is also on the worker business object. Say this field would have been on the compensation change event, then I would have tried to create a lookup related value and get this value from a related business object.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Can anyone confirm? Are you guys able to see these definitions? One is the advanced report and
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to do or play around anything or do any activities, I will say do not anything on the original report. Do something like this. Go to the custom report, create a copy, and put a name in beginning, I would say, so that it's easily identifiable. Say I would okay, and then just create a copy. Okay, and then start editing anything if you want to do. Okay, I think since you guys have tenant, and I know I might be just curious to do certain things. So do you want to do a small activity for 10 minutes on the call? So that any doubts, if you have, you can ask me. I'll give you a use case, and I would like you guys to create a custom report, and we'll do it for the 10 minutes. And if there are doubts, we'll take it up and then move it. Okay. So what I will do is, let it be, I'm writing the requirement here. Create a report to get the name, cost center, location, and total base pay, cost center, location, base pay, and I believe a manager of all employees who been terminated between 1st Jan 2024 and 31st Jan 2025 or 2024. Oh, sorry, December. I will put this whole year so that at least you get some values. Okay, so this is the use case of the requirement I have, and I want you guys, each of you, to create a custom report for yourself. Try to do the same thing. Put your name in front of the report name, like a prefix for the reports you create, so that you don't end up creating the same names based upon the logical requirement. I hope everyone got this requirement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I shared it.
Okay, sure. Okay, since the time is over, anyone who's doing the activity, they can continue till I'm just reviewing. Guys might be having the same issues or challenges. Instead of reviewing for everyone, I think we'll go with one.
Do I need to give the access?
You need to share. Just edit the report and share with the all authorized users, or maybe
Okay.
let me.
Yeah, I did.
Sorry.
I shared actually.
Yeah. That's fine. I've got the. You see, for me, it is maybe it's your system or something issue. Maybe try to restart your system. So having that memory issue, because you see, if I get to create the cost center, I'm just putting the name.
Because I went to get all these fields. Also, I went by category cost center. It is not at all coming. It just field is not found.
Yeah, but I think you added this going the other way around, right? Yeah, because if you do not have access to this field or something, it will not pop up, but this definitely means you have access. What the issue might have been is like when you do this kind of search, it takes a lot of memory in the background. So
Okay.
it can be because this will search it like within 1,000 fields within the tenant. So it can be something. Try restarting your computer or your RDP.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Okay. I've discarded the changes. Taking your report to review. Okay.
So I still
There
have a
is
question there.
there is no option to restart actually.
Maybe you can. I think we have tech support, right?
Yeah.
Hi, tech support. Can you help restarting her RDP maybe? Because I think there might be some performance issue she is facing on the browser. Okay, sure. We can just like maybe do it after the call.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, we have got first name, last name, we have got cost center, we have got location, total base pay amount, manager, termination date. Okay, termination. Okay. And when you are running this report, is it giving you any results?
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features: bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
3.
Okay, starting prompt would be starting termination name 01012024. I'm gonna give 31122024.
The date is
31. Okay, sorry, 12. Yeah, 312024. Termination between this Joe Roads. You see the cost center is not coming up for this one. Termination between. Okay, and if I go ahead and try to get this employee, well, to get the employee ID as well.
Total base pay it is showing 0.
Right. Do you think why?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because if you remember, I told you if a top person will be terminated, his salaries would not be no longer.
You need to go one date minus.
Right. You have to get the LVOD, go to get that termination date, do a -1, and then get that.
Okay.
And one more question before we proceed. So we have this filter, but nothing in the prompt. But the birth date that you created, correct? That had the birth date in prompt as well. So here I just created the filter, right?
Right. Okay. You created the filter. You prompt the user for the value, starting prompt. This is because you have not done this.
Is that mandatory populate undefined prompt defaults? Okay.
So the thing is, unless until you enable this, you won't be able to control it from the prompts, and you won't be able to see the definition. Say you want to make it required. You don't want
so
people
then we have to change the default type as well.
Right.
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 Let me edit that analogy. I'll work on the salary part as well.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll get the employee ID just so that we can go to the user and try to validate if the results are right or wrong. So even the employee worker, if I would have pulled that up, would have been a good job. Okay, so this person, the termination date is 12/03/24. Okay, but you see this employee is still active. It's not terminated. Why? Why is it showing you like this? Is because let me go to the worker history.
If the user is terminated, how it will be showing? Like what will be shown if it is terminated?
It will show you something like terminated in front of the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In the brackets, it will show you terminated.
Okay.
It's showing me higher. Okay. Why is it showing me higher? It is. You have asked for termination date. The termination date is being pulled from the affected date of worker's last termination. Include future date termination or terminations with the fee higher on the next day to include terminations with the next quarter. Okay, so termination greater than or equal to this termination date. Okay, we are filtering this one and less than the ending prompt. What you see, this worker is not having view worker history by category. If I see just having the hire event, how is it? How are we getting the termination? There must be certain things which are wrong. So what ideally would have been you would have done on this report is first, the foremost thing, we just want terminated employees. So the first filter you should be putting up is
Only terminated employees.
right. Check for the status.
What status?
I think that would be active status field.
Yeah, I think I was looking for that assignment status, or I don't know, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you see, active status. This will show you on leave or this or certain types of leaves are terminated. Active status is or is terminated is also yeah. I remember. I think there is.
Oh, we can sort the data source filter also as all terminated workers.
Right, you can do that, but that's why I asked you to go for so that you use this filter. Is terminated is one of the because these fields are something which will come handy to you in the future if you try to see them once. They will be used in many of the reports. Is terminated worker is terminated. Okay, this will be a Workday. Now that would be one primary termination. Employees primary position fixed is terminated but not retired. Worker is terminated. What is this showing? Termination active status is currently active, right? Termination date is not blank. Active constant. Constant status. Active status is equal to. I will not take this. Taking this would mean true, and not taking this would mean false, and then termination date. Termination date is also not blank. Termination date between this. So if I'll run this report now, let's see if it gives any different result. Okay, it's giving a default value. Okay, so I added employee ID, right? So this is not there. So I add it from here. You see, something like this will appear in front of people who have been terminated. Okay, and if you go ahead and try to see the whole compensation section, as you see in case of any active employees, if I'll take this person itself, this is currently active. I think there is something wrong with this employee, maybe rehired or something, because the termination date is not showing. Since this is a test tenant, there would have been certain transactions. If you see, and go for now for this one as well. Or is it on leave? No, I don't know. There should be terminate employee. It is there, but why is it not showing me anything? Maybe because I do not have access. It's just showing me hire event, and there is no termination or anything. So, okay, this test data I will not take, but I will go with a certain result which will look like this. Okay, for this person, it will be terminated here, and if you go to the worker history of this user, view worker history, you will be able to get the termination date, validate the termination date as 13/12, and this is right, but you're not getting the location, because location is also a supervisory organization which is tied to the worker, and that will also go away once the termination has been gone. Okay, so if you go ahead and try to see the summary, only the manager would be there, and cost center and other details will not be there. So all you need to do is create a lookup value as of date for cost center as well, and look for something for this. And I think I had already created, but maybe there was this. Show you what would have been the ideal case. So we'll add certain fields here. LVAOD I had created. So you see LVAOD quotient as of date. Okay. For worker, if you see what this calculated field does is cost center and then entry date eval if term, then get else terminated day, and then this was certain LVOD cost center. We have location manager, we have termination, we have this, right? I think this was created by me earlier. This is from date. So what I will do is create a copy of it. Okay, CF LVAO lookup value as of date base pay before termination. I'll do is total base pay amount. I'll create a cal field, or I think there was a cal field, right? EFFT had created. I'll use the dummy one only. Last change event effective date of last comp. Maybe I'll go ahead and create self. I will give CF date, that is EF termination date -1, termination effective date -1. Business object would be worker. Function would be, what would be the function if I want to do a -1 from a termination date? Can anyone of you unmute yourself and help me?
So LVR.
We want to do just like a -1 date from the
So
termination.
date difference. The difference.
No, I
Date
think
constant.
Date we did it once.
right. Do you see anything on the screen?
Increment or decrement?
Yeah, increment or decrement.
Yeah. If you refer to any of that definitions I've created, I've also used the same thing. In the date field, we will get date and termination date. We want to do date -1, days to subtract. Okay, that's on here. Okay, and then put okay. And I hope this one works now. Because this only right like basically for termination, before termination copy text. Let me see how is it giving the results differently. Okay, even now it is showing LVOD base pay. Why? Because I should not. I delete cost center LVOD. It is giving me down date. It is giving me 2 Okay, and I'll show you now how to debug it. This value we created, even now this is not coming up. So what we do is go to the report. Okay, and now maybe everyone is accessing, so it has started to perform a bit slow. Go to edit, and then whatever field you want to debug, just go to that field. Try to get the values underlying in this report if it is on the same business object. So this termination date effective -1, effective date -1. If I get this, so total base pay effective on first of this was this. Okay, so I'm getting this. Let's save this report just to see if my underlying calculated field is working fine. So this is giving me -1 date.
Yeah, that is right.
Right, that is coming right. So -1 for termination, and this has happened. Then if I'll go ahead and entry moment would be edit the latest value. I don't think maybe this is effective date -1 meaning the entry date. Terminations are effective dated. I don't think it should be.
And the data source filter level, if you select all terminated employees, get with the Workday delivered fields itself, not to create.
Right, as the cal field, but I wanted you to create the cal field.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you will learn how to create the cal field. So
why is the effective date is okay? You have given it the entry date.
like I've given them for now just to debug.
No, I think you can do the effective date. Oh, before you gave the effective date, which is not working.
Yeah. Even now it is not coming, right?
Yeah. So I'm sure it is not.
It is not entry date because
it should be effective date.
Terminations are effective dated. Okay.
Termination date is working.
Okay. What is total base pay amount? I think there would be a different base pay as of. I think there would be a different kind of base pay payroll. Total base pay as of first day of the year. Total base pay below market. Total base pay change. Maybe base pay. Sure, this should be working. Last day pay increase. Last day base pay amount. I think this is also delivered. Or is it base pay change? Okay, and they would go to the event and then fetch it. So that's why employee compensation event is true. Compensation history base pay. Okay, history they are seeing. Effective date. Okay. I think the other way is also to do this, but last way based or if I use this slightly, I think cost center should be coming in this way, but yes, not sure. There is something just not correct with maybe with the use case because I just created on the call. Let me just get this base pay from the last base pay LRV type of lookup last base pay amount. Okay, and I will take this offline just to.
Did you put in effective date now?
Right. Yeah, I've put in the effective date now.
It's still entry date.
Okay.
Let
Okay.
me
Maybe I've not saved. I've not saved it.
Yeah, I will change it.
Yeah, I've saved it now. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's showing now. Okay, interesting. I mean, this is the same thing you did this morning, right? I mean, this
Right.
start the session. Can we go back to that report? And
I think what we did was not on the terminations, but what we did was like look up at the salary. That's why I created this kind of use case for you on the call itself, because this should ideally be like in my mind it is maybe I have not done this in a long time because the terminated like worker business objects behave differently on the term after terminations. That's why. Okay, so what we did was like before last change was just get this, and when base pay at higher was just to get the higher date, and then it was giving you the higher.
But again, the higher we put the higher date in the effective date.
Right. That was doing the same thing, like how we did the termination date -1. It was
right.
Maybe because this worker, if I go, okay,
let me check the worker, and probably the worker doesn't have any value at all because it didn't come.
Right. Okay. Total base pay amount is the base pay of the employee's primary position. This is sum of employee's compensation element amounts that considers base pay. The number is represented in currency and frequency for the employee's compensation, grade profile compensation, and grade profile exist or compensation. Okay. So probably, yes, maybe the worker, there is something wrong with the worker profile because even these things, like you see these users, we have put up like just get the values who have been terminated, but this is not working fine. So yeah, maybe give me some time offline and I will get back to you on this use case. Okay. Okay, we'll come back to the class, and the next topic would be contextual reporting. For us, what we recently did was like advanced reports, and within advanced reports, since the last 1.5 session, we saw about calculated fields, which is like very important topic for you within the advanced reports, and especially the calculated fields which we discussed. One is LRV or lookup related value. The other one is ESI, extract single instances, lookup value as of date, which is also very handy at most of the instances where you don't want to like see the current state, but state which has been gone past in time. Okay. I think apart from that, we have seen increment, decrement date. We have seen how to create text constants or evaluate expressions is also one calculated field which comes in handy, that it will give you a if else kind of thing and have a default value as well. Okay, and I will encourage you, since you have 10 taxes now, and I think after this class we'll be meeting after the weekend. So during the weekend, whenever you get some time, try to do hands-on, create certain calculated fields of each type, or maybe do replicate the things we created while on the session yourselves, and go ahead and do those cal fields like evals and LRVs.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
Okay.
There are calculated fields like lookup hierarchy, lookup organization.
Yes, there are a lot of calculated fields, but I think the most of the things that are like very frequent for you to be used is this. And I think if I'll go ahead and discuss all the kind of calculated fields, it will definitely take up a lot of time, because lookup hierarchy is something you want to look up at the hierarchy at certain value of time or certain level, management level, then that is there.
Do we have any documentation we can go through for
Do
these
you have
type of?
access to Workday community?
No.
No, I think then it won't be. And I think in this course, you do not have much detailed information for each of the calculated fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, for the calculated fields, I'm following Sissy Bombrang in LinkedIn. She shared all the documentation related to calculated fields. If you,
Yeah,
maybe I
you
can
guys
put
can
the,
internally you can discuss.
put
Yeah.
it
You
in the
can
chat.
put it in the chat. Yeah.
Right.
yeah, she has like so many documentation on calculated fields and Workday as
We'll go ahead with contextual reporting. So what contextual reporting is, I think one of the topics that arrived yesterday from someone, that like if I want to create a report or see what can be done from. Okay, so what is contextual reporting? Contextual reporting is something like you see something on the UI, or you see a field available there on any of the interfaces, and you see, I want to create a report out of this field, but you do not know the data source or the business object. So this comes handy in those places, like I'll say, as you see, the content would be contextual reporting work is a key resource when you do not know, when you know the data you want to report but do not know the object definitions and report fields. When viewing the data you are interested in, say a given employee or a given expense report, and then you want to do reporting out of it, then you need to create, you can go ahead and create the reporting sort of cal fields out of it. So I will be showing you these steps in the session ahead, and I think you just want to see whatever has been covered in this slide. You can, yeah, there are three things you can do. You can create a report, you can see the related reports which have already been created, and you can also report on fields and values, like see the values, like I think we saw yesterday on one of the fields, how can I see the values currently sitting on the report, like, or this field, what kind of values it holds. So if I go to, and again, that's my favorite person, and if I go here, you see there's a supervisory organization thing coming up. You see, okay, I want to do reporting, or I want to create a custom report on supervisory organization, but I don't know the business object or the data source. So what you do is like click on the three dots, or what we call as related actions. Go down, further down, and you see reporting. You see reporting, and you click on this create a custom report from here. Once you click on that, since it will be a lot of fields that would be coming up, it might take some time. The interface is also different. So you now see the interface has opened up where the supervisory organization is being seen as the source you have selected. Now you will be able to see the different fields available are related to this business object. Okay, I will select, let me go all in here. Okay, I do have option to select in here. Okay, JMatch. So these are all the fields like related to this one, the kind of object or instance we selected, and whatever field you selected from here, say I want to display organization display ID, I want to display the organization as a instance, I want to display organization hierarchy, I want to display code, organization subordinates, space now, person. Okay, so those are the fields I would say, like I'm just picking up for this demo. It will ask you to the kind of report you want to create. It will give you all the available data sources, optional data sources, like not optional, like the different kind of data sources you can create this report on from that instance, and the same fields you have selected. So I'll go with supervisory organization. I will give my report as C superorg. Okay, I'll click on OK. Now you see certain things have already been populated. You do not have to check for the data source and on. You had those options available. It will give you that, okay, these are the data sources you can report on. And as soon as we selected this, the business object automatically came as the instance you selected as a supervisory organization. Like on the login screen, if I go back, the vice president, and from the summary. So this is the instance of the field or supervisory organization, or maybe a business object supervisory organization. So directly the primary business object got selected from in here, and then from this basis you can create a report. So you want to do all the sorts of filtering or prompts, anything you want to do, you can do this from a contextual reporting perspective. So that comes in handy, like when you are new to Workday and you are not having much idea how about the data sources, different kind of data sources that are available, but you see something on the UI, or someone tells me like, yes, I want to go and create a report on cost center. Okay, so what you will do is go back to, and you do not know if there is business object or data source available directly for cost center. So you will do is go to job, and you get to know an idea that cost center would be available on this page. So if you see cost center, now you see this field or this instance of the cost center, and you start to report. To create a custom, one second, create worker detail report, reporting, yeah, create custom reports from here. Now you do the same action I did for supervisory organization, and it will directly take you to the data sources that are available for creating a custom report on this instance, which is from a cost center. Okay, the other option available to you is related reports. So what it does is, like, similarly, like you created the kind of reports, it will give you anything, be it a delivered report or a custom report, anything which is already developed in the tenant on this business object. You see, another example, instead of viewing all reports, if you want to check a particular kind of business object or instance of what all the reporting things or definitions already exist within your tenant, you can check in from here. Okay.
What option was this again, Mr.
Yeah.
Park? What is the second one you're saying? Related reports. Huh?
Related reports. So it will show you all the reports which are already created in the tenant
based on this
business object.
Business object. Okay.
Yeah, because this is an instance of cost center, right? This 41600 is the instance of cost center. So it will directly take you to all the reports which are already existing based upon this instance of the business objects that is cost center. And similarly,
like, where are these business objects used?
Right. Exactly. You can draw the analogy for that. And this comes handy, like when you're new, like I'm saying, I want to create something on email addresses. I want to create something on specifically on the pay groups. Okay, I want pay group details. So what you can do is go to the worker profile, see if where the pay group is. I think the supervisory organization, this is set up differently. If there would have been a pay group, company, all these are companies, or maybe say, I change the example, I want to create the detailed report of the companies which are existing. So similarly, you will go ahead and view the related actions from here, go to reporting. From reporting, so you need to go to reporting, and you can create related reports, and the third option available is view the report fields and values. So you don't want to create a total value kind of report. First, you want to see the different fields associated with this business object or with this instance, and then the different kind of values it holds or the type of field it is. So the values will give you. So you say if something is like has a longer list of values or things, it will come up like this. It will notify me later or maybe ask you to wait. So since it has 675 items, it took a longer time. So you can just wait over this. And even when this happens, when you run a report, if the report is fetching up a lot of data, it will tell you it is taking longer than usual. Wait or remind me later. So while running the reports, I will say you can continue doing your work by clicking on notify me later. And just, I think there would be a pop-up saying the report name you want to see the data as. And once you click on OK, it will later on come as a notification, and you can see that report in your My Report section. Okay, so from the company business object, you see, it directly gave you, instead of like we going ahead and searching for BO company and then seeing the values, it directly gave you all the fields that are existing, be it a calculated field or custom or like a delivered field. And it directly gives you the kind of values it is setting, the field type, the related business objects, the descriptions, and the data sources. Okay, so that's all about contextual reporting. So what we have in contextual reporting is create a custom report. I showed you, or you go to the create custom report, you select certain fields. Just for the initial instance, I would say like select 2-3 fields. It will directly give you the create custom report kind of UI, and then from there on you can start building your logic on the custom report. And then related reports, that's like seeing all the reports that are available in the tenant for that particular business object, and then seeing the report fields and values. Okay, so that's another way to create custom reports from scratch if you're not aware about the data sources and the business objects. Okay, so I think I will not take up the next topic I had, but instead what we can do is try to take, I think I told you about business process transaction reports. So since the next time we'll be meeting is over after the weekend and you have certain time. So can you guys create a report, try to create a report on business process transaction, because it gives you changes only, and try to get all the change of operations that have been done with the prompt that is available to you. And we can have the different kind of date ranges every time we run the report, but it should give me only the transactions which are having a change job operation done. So I will say create a report to write all change job operations within a date range inputted report user. Okay. So, and the hint for this would be use data source as BPT, business process transactions. Okay. So this is something I would encourage you guys to do it when we meet up in the next class. Any questions around it? I think on the field.
When you say job operations, anything in the job change.
Change job, yeah. If you will,
it could be compensation, it could be promotion, it could be.
No, I would encourage you to go ahead and maybe see there is a prompt, or there's in the filters you will see the kind of business process you want to subscribe to. For BPT reports is always on the business processes. So you try to see and search if there is anything like a change job. So I want only those operations. I don't want anything else. On the field level, if I'll say get me effective date, get me the instance for change job, get me completed on, get me, let's say, initiated. Okay. Try to get me all these details. This is the requirement you have to work on.
I have a doubt. I have a question. So, for all these reports, like we have run for certain month, 2 months or 3 months, and after that some reports are showing slowness and all. So that kind of analytics can we get like for all the reports, like so average time, this is the time it is taking 2 minutes, and average 2 minutes.
Those are advanced reporting concepts, and we are not just going anything deep into the advanced reporting. But I think there is one task which says, I think if I remember, performance rating distribute. There is one task where we first enable the report to check the report run analysis. Is it this one? Current open positions? No. There is one task. These are like certain kind of advanced topics on reporting when you go into particular certifications. So there are particular certifications for like reporting as well, where you get to study not just advanced report, but also in-box reporting, matrix reporting, custom reporting, all those things, because reporting is another domain. It's different from integration or functional. So you get to, but I'll try to get the task name for you in the next class. I think in that what we have to do is like first enable report, whatever you want to analyze for analyzing the performance. And once you do that, every time you run the report, there will be, I will say, a row coming up with the performance of each of the calculated fields within milliseconds or like the times, how much time it is taking to process, and from there on you can like evaluate how the reports are being run. But yeah, I think those are very advanced topics. Those are generally required when you try to build what you call as anything on the home page you see, right? If you're trying to build any graphics or something, because those reports needs to be run only like within 10 seconds or so. So that is when those concepts are required on the advanced reporting.
Yeah, okay. Because I work on Tableau, so I know that how that works. So that's the reason I'm just asking.
Okay, perfect. So everyone, if you're able to take a screenshot, please take a screenshot of this screen. It will have the kind of custom report I want you to create over the weekend, and not just get yourselves limited to this fields I've seen. I want you to get familiarized with this data source, which is business process transaction, because this is also one of the important data sources to create any kind of change jobs, any kind of reporting on the action events, like how many terminations, how many hires have been processed, how many have been rescinded, like cancelled, how many are still in progress. So all those things. So just explore this data source by creating a report and get to know the kind of filters it already has, the prompts it already has, and the fields which are available for you to select. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Arvind.
Thank you.